Let's see, just rehashing last week's game. As I said after the game, we realized we're going to see bigger, stronger, better opponents as we go through the year. But more than anything, I was pleased with the overall execution of what we were responsible for, and with very few penalties, defensive alignments, positioning, reacting to plays where it should be, offensively executing. I think scored our first 7 drives, and I thought both Sam and Joey Halsley did an excellent job along with the offense the first time, really doing all the no-huddle offense. We really handled it and executed in a good way and managed the game in a good way. So that was all positive. And then some of the guys that were noted for players of the game on offense, John Cooper, Trent Williams did an excellent job, and Manny Johnson were kind of our players of the game offensively. And then defensively, Austin English and Gerald McCoy had a lot of penetration in the backfield, a lot of tackles for loss. And then Lendy Holmes and Desmond Jackson on special teams. So anyway, good to get started at home with a good win, and now we've got got a big game with Cincinnati coming here this week, where a 10-3 team ranked 17th in the country. I think Brian Kelly and his staff do a fabulous job. I've always watched him, and he's had a lot of success through the years for sure. And watching their team last year and in their first game this year, they do a great job. You look at defensively, they have 9 seniors, and the 2 juniors that start for them are fourth-year juniors. So there's great experience, very athletic, talented guys who really do an excellent job. I love watching defenses, and these guys are very sound fundamentally, play hard, and really do a good job. And offensively, they do an excellent job spreading the ball around that you see from they give you multiple formations, but a lot of 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, a lot of the zone read, throwing the ball on screens, a lot of what you see from a lot of spread offenses and no huddling. So, and they do an excellent job executing. I think their quarterback, Grutza, the other thing you look at, they got all their receivers back, and he started a couple of years. So now it's not like he's a first-time starter, so he has excellent experience as well. In running the offense, and has played well when he's last week I think he had 3 or 4 touchdown passes and really played well for him. So it's a big challenge. They got probably one of the best, if not the best, punter in the country, from a year ago, and so defense. I think they tied for the lead in takeaways a year ago. So I could go on and on. They're a really good football team. We recognize it as a major challenge in this season. So we're just focusing on having a great week of practice and being ready to play on Saturday.
It was your first chance to work with the timing, with the new clock and that kind of thing. And I know you worked on a lot in practice. You thought you had an idea. Did it go?
It went very smooth. I felt like we didn't have any problems getting plays in or making adjustments, and I thought we all handled it really in a good way. All our coaches did as well.
40-second clock the same.
Yeah, but again, being that we were at the line of scrimmage, didn't make the 40-second clock much of a factor.
Coach, could you comment on the young players that played the other night, how they did?
They did okay. They need to play better, but you have to get them out there and get them to learn and get them in those situations. I thought some of the better ones, I thought Jamel Fleming at corner played really well. Desmond Jackson played really well. Offensively, I thought Jamil Owens did a nice job. But the other guys weren't, just need to keep coming on and keep improving, and I think they will.
If you have the 40-second clock, conversely, if you have a big lead or behind, does it change the way that
sure
that you can come back?
Well, I think actually you can, if you're ahead and you want to really burn it, you got a chance to burn it. With obviously with 40 seconds each play. So, and in situations where if we feel we need to do that, we have practiced and we'll do that. In times when we feel you get toward the last 4 minutes of a game and you only have so many possessions left in the game, then you need to use all of it, and we will.
that's probably going to be a little bit different for teams though that are working this no huddle in that maybe they're going to do.
No, they've always been aware that they know if they're not going to snap it quick if they don't have to. Or if they're in the last 4 minutes of a game and it's a 2 or 3 possession game, they're gonna milk it. You stand at the line longer.
So balance becomes more important than ever?
You know, not for some people. Some people have always liked throwing it around. We have always valued it in the ability to run the ball and run the ball in the fourth quarter. And I think, you know, through the years it has served us pretty well. I mean, I look back at last year's Big 12 championship game, and we ran the ball incredibly well in the second half, in particular in the fourth quarter, and it makes a difference.
Speaking of the running game, DeMarco, how did you feel like after you looked at him on film that he performed?
He looked great, and making the cuts we're used to seeing him make.
Bob, Manny Johnson got off to a great start. He talked yesterday about getting a little bit bigger and going through a good offseason. This is kind of the indicator of what he can do for you guys.
Yes, but I've said it, you guys always forget, but I mean, he was 4 or 5 times a year ago was our player of the game as well. So he just didn't get as, you know, for whatever reasons, as much notoriety as some other guys. But this isn't unusual to us. Manny has been a mainstay in everything we have done for 4 years now. And so I do recognize what you said. I do feel he's a little stronger and a little bigger, you know, and you know, I think too, in just a year is more mature. He's, you know, he's ready to have a big year. But again, that doesn't surprise me at all, or us as coaches. He's always been a very good player for us.
Brian Jackson, you haven't mentioned him. How did he look?
There's a lot of guys now I hadn't mentioned. Brian had a great game. I don't mean, I'm just saying he wasn't a player of the game, mostly because he didn't have that many opportunities. But he was in position all day and broke up a few balls that he was challenged. He played as well as anybody out there. But, you know, sometimes how it is, if you're off in the corner, some other guys that are up front get a little more chance to make more plays, and he just didn't have that many opportunities. The ones he did, he made and played well, as did Dom.
Coach Joaquin Iglesias, really great punt return.
Yeah, Joaquin, you know, has a kickoff return, and he's got a great knack for that, as does DeMarco and Dom. I think too. You know, we started fair catching the ball. We didn't, you know, when you're up 50-0, I did 2 reasons: didn't want to have a big return and didn't want to get somebody hurt. So we just practiced catching the ball and let our offense work. But those guys have ability to make some people miss them, and I think Ryan Broyles would be like that as well.
You talk about Austin Box this week and what's your.
He looked really good in practice yesterday. He went through the whole practice yesterday and looked good. So he'll be out there. We'll see through the week how much, but he's gonna play.
Travis Lewis got the start. How did he go?
He did well. He was in position all day. All those guys were. You know, I said this, and maybe saying it too many times, but they run some of those off-tackle power plays and certain plays. If you were out of position, I don't care who's running them, you're going to have seams and you're going to see people running in the secondary, and that didn't happen because guys were where they should be and reading out blocking schemes and, you know, and pulling guards and, you know, and people that, you know, they read things and were in position really all night.
Does the number of upsets opening week serve you guys well with Cincinnati coming in, or is that nothing you worry about?
Well, I don't know what you're equating to. You know, Cincinnati's a ranked team, or I know we finished the year last year and got virtually everybody back. So I don't.
Well, beating you would be an upset, would it not?
Well, we don't need served. Anybody can beat us. I mean, that. I don't get your question. I mean, you're looking at upsets around the country. They happen every year. It's not like we haven't been. So, you know, they're a really good football team. That's all we need to know, you know, and we know if we're not at our best, you know, that we need to be at our best to have a chance to win.
What do you think of your secondary overall? Or were you able to judge it?
Well, they were where they needed to be, you know, all day. So to me, that's a big factor. And in past years, at different times when we've given up big plays, it hasn't been so much ability, it's been breakdowns, busted assignments, miscommunication, whatever. And that's happened, you know, against a lot of different teams throughout the years, and we didn't have any of that. So through whatever it was, 75, 80 plays, that's good. That's a positive, and they were in position all day. So I feel really good about it.
Bob, Cincinnati seems to have really taken advantage of going into the Big East football. Can you talk about how their profile nationally has really sort of sprouted up in the last 4 or 5 years?
Well, and I think winning does that as well. You win 10 games and win your bowl game, and you're ranked 17th in the country. Everybody takes notice, and it's a great city, and they have excellent athletes. So I think the success they're having, just overall, makes everybody pay attention.
Bob, is there an advantage perhaps in playing run pass equally well when you don't have to pull your strong side backer on 3rd and long?
Definitely, and it's an advantage too with teams that are no huddling, that you don't have to get caught substituting. Keenan gives us a lot of flexibility out there, the athleticism he has, and so it is an advantage, definitely.
Bob, did you follow this program any, being from Youngstown, and does that make this game any unique? Or
To some degree, but Youngstown's a long way from Cincinnati. It's a good 4.5, 5 hours. I'm up in the northeast corner, and they're down in the south edge. So, I was stuck there between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I didn't get much beyond that.
Often, Brody, deservedly so, you talk about his blocking ability, but Jermaine, hasn't he improved a great deal in that area?
Oh, he really has, and I think he's a prideful guy. Now, Jermaine isn't just about catching touchdown passes. I mean, he wants to be a complete tight end, has worked hard on it. I think Brody's been a great example for him, and and he's got the body and toughness to do it. I mean, Jermaine's one of you don't hear from him a lot, but he's one of the most competitive guys we have. He has that kind of just that will, like Adrian. He is incredibly competitive, and so he has a lot of pride, and he has definitely worked hard on it and has gotten a lot better. I mean, he's a strong blocker.
He's also so much of a humble guy, isn't he? And
He's just quiet.
Looking up to Brody.
He is. Jermaine's a humble guy and quiet guy, but incredibly competitive and incredibly talented, and he's just going to continue to get better and better.